I want to jump into our first topic. So, there is a life-size bust that was announced by Infinity Studios, and I know none of us here necessarily are bust collectors, but I really want to talk about this because I think this likeness, from what a lot of people are saying, is actually the best Christian Bale likeness that we have seen so far. So you can see here, this is on Spec Fiction. I'll zoom in a bit here. But $4,119, pretty pricey. It is a 1-to-1 life size. It's free shipping. You can get this other places, obviously. So do your own research if you're considering it. See where you want to get it. But you get a Christian Bale likeness here with rooted hair. Obviously, the whole works with silicone and stuff like that. He's holding the cow, the bat cow, and I gotta say, this looks pretty dope. As not someone who's not a bust guy, this is still pretty exciting in terms of the artistry on display here. So, Riley, as someone like yourself who likes this better than the Batman, what do you think about this Christian Bale?
Yeah, I love how you start with that. This one, honestly, I think this one's like really impressive and really amazing looking. Infinity is one of those companies where a lot of their busts, like for the most part, are like really close to spot on. Like their likeness is really good on a lot of their busts they do. Obviously, it's a lot easier given that it's like a whole life-size version. You probably have more like paint apps to do, better job to do on that. But I mean, it could also turn out a lot worse with other companies. But I think that this is an incredible bust. I'm obviously not going to be one to pick it up, but I know a lot of people don't really like doing busts because it's obviously not their full body. It kind of throws them off. I'd say that I'm a fan of busts. I'd probably never collect it just because of like space reasons, having that much space and obviously the price. Each of these are probably like $4,000, so it's pretty crazy. But I'd say that for people who like want to collect life size stuff, this would be one that if you're a big fan of The Dark Knight, I mean, there's some certain shots where it's like not as much Bale, but like most of the photos taken here, they're like 9.5 to like, it's like, it looks exactly like him almost. Pretty unreal. And the rooted hair also looks really well done. The base is cool. I like how it has like the light up logo of The Dark Knight. I didn't notice that the first time. That's a really nice touch that they included. And then the back is like the tumbler. That's pretty cool. I think that's like an interesting take to go. And you can also have him like he's holding the cow. I think that was a really good idea from them. I really like that, how you can have the full showcase of the not only the cow, but obviously the Bruce Wayne likeness. But yeah, this is pretty impressive. I'm happy. But another thing though, with Infinity, most of the time from their prototype finals, they're like pretty close to like the prototype. But I remember the Harley Quinn I saw, like I think it was a month ago, that had a drastic decline. So that's something that you also have to think about. I don't know why that exactly happened per se, but I know that a lot of collectors were like, oh, what happened to this from the proto to final? It like looks a lot more different. And when you're paying $4,000, you really do want that prototype. But for the most part, Infinity has had a bunch of hits. I know that they did the tactical suit Batman. That was one that was really good. They just did the Joker, I believe. That was like pretty. I think it was pretty amazing. I think the hair looked a little too long, but other than that, it was a standout. But this one, I mean, hopefully it turns out like the prototype, because this can be like grail status at some time, honestly, because this is really, really amazing. It's awesome.
Yeah. And I'm interested to see from these companies, like Queen made that Loki bust, which I think is just incredible. But I'm with you, Riley. I'm not as much of a bust guy. I put a poll up and I assume we're going to get pretty lopsided numbers in terms of would you actually buy a bust. I think, you know, with this audience, we're probably not going to get many of those. But I love seeing what Infinity is doing as far as their half scale statues and their 1-to-1 bust and, you know, whatever else they choose to do in the future. This is pretty exciting. So Leo, what do you think about this bust, bro? I know this is pretty pricey and probably not something any of us would actually buy, but what do you think about how this turned out, or you know how the proto looks?
Nah, I think it's a beautiful piece, bro. Like, I mean, that's like one of the best likenesses of him that I've actually seen in a while. I think they nailed it. There's no ends, you know, there's no bust about that. Like, it's incredible. You know, not something that I collect. Like, I don't do busts, but you know, to look at this, you see Christian Bale all the way through. I think Infinity, they definitely nailed it. Again, I mean, it might be different from a different perspective for like people who actually collect busts. They might have more of a better perspective on it than I do. But from what I'm seeing, you know what I mean, it looks good. Like, it's, you know, looking at the head sculpt, it's almost like, you know, something that you would want to see in either a quarter scale or a 1/6 scale type of figure. But I think, you know, for what they've given us, it looks really, really, really decent. Nice touch with the cow, you know, with the expression, you know, so definitely, I think it's incredible. It's really, really, really decent. You know, and I think the person who actually has it, but it's crazy. Like, it's because I think about it, it's like, yo, like literally, it would be strange for me to have a bust of someone in my home because it would be kind of scary. But at the same time, you know what I mean? And, you know, look, it would be decent. And now the duo, like you see in the back, the Catwoman, that looks good as well, Selena Kyle. So to have both of them together, that would look really, really, really dope.
It's true.
Yeah, for me, unless, you know, I think it's when I look at a bust, it's more like seeing it in sort of like a museum type of piece, or seeing somebody who, you know, like somebody who's like an upscale, has like a really decent home, like a, you know, like, and you can have those pretty much in the section looking good. For me, having it down, it's not gonna make sense. It's like, no, it's just not gonna work. But you cannot take away from the artistry. It looks incredible.
Yeah, it really does, bro. And I'm excited to see what they produce next. So that said, Mario, El Profesor Beard God, what do you think about this Christian Bale 1-to-1 life-size bust here from Infinity? I mean, it's pretty impressive.
This is more than a bust, man. I mean, a bust usually cuts off, you know, at the arms. It just goes in a V shape.
True. I love that there's arms.
There's arms on this thing, man. You're literally getting half of a person, dude, from the waist up, you know, which is incredible. Go back and look at the rest of their busts, and they're all like that, bro. One of the things that's questionable is why is the back of the tumbler, the exhaust, why is it where it's at? I took a look at that picture. And I'm like, that's kind of sus. I think I wouldn't have done that because that's
Oh, you think it's like booty hole like?
I love that right there, bro. I'm like, yo.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Actually, that's actually a good point. Yeah.
Why? No,
it's the tumbler hole. Yeah, I got you.
It really is, man. Wrong exhaust. Anyway. Aside from that, man, it's an absolutely beautiful piece, dude. It's bro. Don't knock it till you try it, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but no, it's an absolute beautiful piece, man. I think the head sculpt, they blow J&Ds out of the water 100%, 1,000-fold.
They did. Yeah.
And for another $1,000, I would rather get this than that J&D set any day of the week, dude.
Dude, I probably would.
They've done an incredible look at the detail in this particular photo, dude, with the with all the details in his face, all the little bumps, down to the stubble. If you zoom into that stubble, you see it on his chin, dude. You see it on his lip. Even with just the stubble on his face, man, it's looking way better than what Carlos has. You know what I mean? It's freaking
way better.
The artistry's on point, man. It's an absolute gorgeous piece, dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I love it. I really love it.
Yeah, I love it too, bro. Yeah, I absolutely love it. Well, Carlos, what do you think, bro? Is this something you're considering? Because I know we talked about this a little bit, but I didn't know if you were actually considering picking it up, considering, you know, you love The Dark Knight. I think all of us do here, but what do you think about this?
So I think Infinity clearly, you know, there's going to be the best likeness. I think this is as good as it gets, honestly. I don't see this like someone doing something better at this point because it's easily like a 9.5 plus, right? I think it's as good as it's going to get when it comes down to a collectible. I actually really like that the carbon fiber right on the chest and all that. It's not that gold that J&D is using. It's actual black, and I think it looks a lot better. I wish J&D, you know, went with that black part because Infinity, man, this looks amazing. What's always crazy to me though is that this is $4,200 for half a body with a silicone and rooted hair, but if you add legs, it's $12,000. I didn't know legs were worth $8,000, which I never understood that part. You know, it's like $8,000 for legs and the base. I was like, this comes with the base already. I was like, okay, I guess. But this is really cool, man. I think this is great. You know, when it comes down to this, hopefully, Queen Studios are going to make that half scale, you know, Bale. And I'm going to compare it to this. Obviously, it's going to be half the price, and I know it's going to be obviously half the scale. But I think this looks amazing, man. You know, it'd be really cool. That I believe, and we've said that Infinity is actually, you know, at the top of their game. And, you know, we have J&D coming into 1.6, Queen came into 1.6. Dude, imagine if Infinity was to go into 1.6. That would be pretty cool.
Nah, dude.
Especially with this likeness.
This community would scare them away, bro.
You think so?
I know so.
We were saying, Mario, the 1.6 community can be pretty critical.
Brutal.
We can be rough. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised Queen Studios isn't dipped yet, to be honest.
Queen is good.
Queen Studios is like, fuck this.
Let's see you guys.
Yeah. And ours like, now
Queen Studios is good. But this right here, man, this is next level. So it'd be cool if they were to, you know, come into 1.6. I think that'd be pretty awesome. But well, aside from that, if Infinity was to ever make a life size and it has this, bro, I would highly consider picking that up. Because it's
I would assume they probably would just take the same head sculpt, and just
I mean,
pop
they
it
already
on
have half the body, so Just get
Right,
the
maybe they
legs.
will.
They're gonna
Yeah,
charge
dude,
$8,000
I can't
more.
imagine, Carlos, how good that would be. Because I'm with you, bro. On the armor, the armor looks great. Just seeing
Queen
like
is gonna
all-
do a 1-to-1 Dark Knight.
If this
Oh, are
was
they?
quarter scale Batman Begins with this kind of quality, but full, with a full figure, I would highly consider that.
I think I would too, Mario. Yeah, I think I would too.
Robert Pattinson, maybe.
But
No,
life size,
Riley.
if it was still 1-to-1, Adam West 66, day one, dude. I'm there.
1-to-1
All day.
Adam West. you would get.
1-to-1 Adam West, bro. Hell yeah. Yep.
Well, I always said, Mario, Carlos and I talked about this. The one-to-one I'd probably consider would be Loki. That would probably be Like if they
no,
if
that's a
they ever
no-brainer
did
for you,
one,
bro. Come on, everybody knows that.
What'd you say?
that
Yeah,
like it's a surprise,
but
bro.
1-to-1, that's so expensive, Mario. That's so expensive.
Yeah.
Would you
It's
do
like,
Well,
even
that's
for
the
Loki.
ultimate.
What'd you say, Carlos?
Pennywise?
Pennywise, maybe. Maybe.
You have
But-
half, so
Yeah, I have a half scale. And dude, honestly, I wish I had more half scale. I want to get more. I can have 3, I think.
Half
in
scale is
this
the
room,
best
so-
scale.
Half scale's great. Half
You've been
scale's
talking to
really cool.
Josh. You've been talking to McCoy, haven't you?
I got to talk to Josh more. Yeah,
statue guys.
Josh does love
Mhm.
half scale. Yeah. So we got to get Leo on
Yeah.
the half scale train. We'll get it.
Shout
And,
out to my
and
dude.
Riley there, of course. We'll get Riley.
Oh God,
Yeah.
no, please.
And then Josh in
1-to-1
the Terminator.
Terminator. Damn.
Yeah. 1-to-1 Terminator. That would be great too. That'd be great.